wanted to be vulnerable today and talk about some truths that I've learned through having this YouTube channel. That being a messenger or a healer or someone who seeks to help others, it's not always as easy or as beautiful as it looks. And possibly you, as the receiver of these messages, might not understand that, which is okay. But I wanted to let you know I've been a bit emotional lately, and I wanted to get this off my chest and let you know that it's been a struggle to deliver these messages at times. And I think sprinkled in here in this message are messages that you, as the receiver, can also gain clarity from. Messages of self-worth, just messages of how to move through your life without needing the approval of others. Welcome to True Sovereignty, where we are mastering our minds so we can reclaim our peace. When I make these videos, there's a pressure to be perfect in my everyday waking life. If I make a mistake, if I act out in a way that I preach not to act out to my audience, it makes me feel that I'm unworthy to speak on this channel. Even though deep down I know that that's not true. I try to practice what I preach on this channel as much as I possibly can. And in moments when I fail in life, whether by myself or someone triggering me, it can make me feel like I'm not worthy to speak on my own channel. That someone who truly knows me could watch this channel and say, and criticize and say, well, you're not like that. Why are you speaking on this if you haven't mastered this yourself? Which is also why I do not show people I know my channel. But at the end of the day, I don't know any perfect people. And it's nothing to be ashamed of because it's only human. We are just human. As long as the mistakes you make are not poisoning your life, as long as you are walking through life smoothly and not walking through a tornado or a storm, meaning most of your days are filled with more so peace as opposed to stormy waters or tumultuous moments or rocky relationships. As long as the majority of your life is on stable ground, you're okay. You're allowed to make mistakes. As long as we are continuing to take accountability, stay self-aware, and continue to note and check ourselves. Your imperfection is not a flaw. It's actually part of the design. So I try to remind myself, yes, you have a channel where you speak out about bad behavior. You speak on how to obtain peace and contentment in your life. It doesn't mean I'm not going to have disagreements or arguments with those that I love. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to make a mistake, or that I'm not going to feel lonely or cry in my room. Because part of being human is experiencing all emotions and learning all lessons. Number 2, in order to deliver these messages to you, the universe has put me in solitude. And it's painful. It feels like my mission on this planet has forced me to sacrifice the things that I desire in order to be a voice for others. But I'll be honest, it's working. It works. Because all these years I've wanted to do something like this, but I've always been too distracted through dating or sleeping around and spending all my energy. I spent all my energy on dating and one person that wasn't me. And now I have nothing else to do but answer my calling. Alone has forced me to face my pain, my fears, all without the outside influence of somebody else in my ear. And when I experience these pains and these lessons, I can then alchemize them and then deliver these messages to you. Even though it hurts, I do see the bigger picture. I do see why it has to be this way. But it does feel like I have to sacrifice some things in my life for the greater good. I wonder if other creators that deliver similar messages that I do have to face this, or if it's just me. It'll really be interesting to know if they have also had to give up something that they really want in their life in order to speak truth and healing for the people who are receiving it. 3, I have to face the weight of doubt. Worrying if a video doesn't perform well. Worrying why I don't have 100 subscribers yet. But that has also taught me that the more you feel doubt, the harder you have to work and push through that doubt. That your thoughts don't need to translate into your reality. Doubt is natural, but it doesn't have to stay. It also comes with questioning whether I'm worthy to deliver a message. If something I'm still struggling with, can I speak on that to help somebody else in their life? Or to look back on a video and say, well, you're not doing any of those things. Who are you to speak on this? But just because somebody has wisdom doesn't necessarily mean that they are perfect about it, whatever the topic may be. Sometimes it just means that they just have awareness and they need to put it into practice. Like therapists aren't necessarily super perfect in their life, but they have the book that they have taught and learned from for their training to translate over to a client. You're facing doubt. Try to think of it like a cue from the universe that it's time to work even harder towards your goals, as opposed to backing off. Number 4, I feel like I'm trying to prove my worth. The amount of subscribers that you get, the likes, the clicks, the watch time, the views. I feel like I'm trying to prove my worth to somebody, to myself, to the universe. But worth is inherent. If you're working on yourself, if you take accountability, if you're working every day to make yourself better, living your purpose, wanting to be there and be healthy mentally, physically for your loved ones, you don't have to worry if you're worthy, because you are. You're already worthy. You're worthy of your desires. Everything you desire, you're worthy of. The only people who have to worry about if they're worthy or not are the people who cause destruction purposefully in other people's lives or manipulation. Those are the only people who have to worry about their worth. Not you, not somebody like you who watches content like this. I am not unworthy because I haven't reached 1,000 subscribers. I was worthy the day that I put this video, my first video out on this channel ever. I was worthy that very day. Just simply because I am taking the time to help others, to help myself. And through these messages, they're not only messages that are being delivered to you, they're messages that are being delivered to me. We're learning together, we're on this journey together. Think of it like I get these downloads, I make a script, and I refine the script, and then I deliver the message to you. Sometimes these messages come out of nowhere. Sometimes a random piece of inspiration pops up, and that's how I gain inspiration to write a video. But I don't necessarily think these messages are fully coming from me, maybe my higher self, but maybe a source that we can't see. So just know that we are on this journey together. We are both learning. The messages aren't just for you, but I think they are for me as well. And we're both learning as we move through these videos together. Just remember, there is no reward. There is no destination. There is only now. There's only the present moment. There's only the journey. There's only a journey. You aren't worthy next year. You're worthy now. And you always have been. Because you're a deep thinker like me. And everybody who comes to this channel and is attracted to these types of messages, we are deep thinkers. And we care. And we're deep souls. And we are worthy of everything that we desire. Number 5, sometimes these videos take an emotional toll. Sometimes speaking on certain things can really drain me and tire me out. And even writing about it or thinking about it, I can get emotional. So sometimes there is a draining of energy in creating these videos because the topics can be very complex and deep. The things I speak about are not shallow. They're not simple. They're things that take a lot of thought and a lot of energy to produce and create. And I think a lot of content creators that make content like this could possibly relate. It would be a little bit better maybe if I didn't have a full-time job and I didn't have to pay bills. Maybe it would be less draining. Sometimes I just want some reassurance that I'm on the right path, that I'm doing this and it's working. And you don't always get that with YouTube. YouTube is unpredictable. The algorithm is wild, especially when I'm not creating videos that are exactly the same. I don't really have too much of a niche. But just know we are learning together. And that I'm the vessel to deliver these messages to you. I'm just as much of a learner as you are. You might view me as a teacher or a healer or a messenger, but I'm learning and growing with you. And I just want to be really open, honest, and authentic about that. You're not listening to an expert or a trained psychologist. You're just listening to somebody who's just like you. But maybe I share things in a different way, in a different perspective that you never thought about. Maybe I changed your mind about something that was really eating at you. And that is why I'm here. Not because I'm special, although we are special, but not because I'm more special, just because I have the motivation and the dream to do this and to help people. You might have a different dream, and I encourage you to follow that one. I posted about maybe 20 videos. I haven't been on YouTube very long, but I have learned all of this in this time, and I've experienced all of this in this time, and it's wild. And none of this, even though they're downsides, make me want to stop. Like I said, doubt, negative emotions, it just makes me want to go further. I think people like me and you, we are alchemists. We turn pain, sorrow, loneliness, solitude, all of these things we find to be negative, we turn them into positives. We turn them into our dreams. We turn heartbreak into a rock hard body. We turn heartbreak into, I'm gonna go get my dream job and make a bunch of money. That's what we do. We're alchemists. We're changing the game. So despite the fact that, yes, it can be exhausting and almost feel like I'm sacrificing something to be able to make these videos, it's worth it. It is worth it. I'm not sitting around reading books and watching a bunch of spiritual well-being content. This stuff just comes into my head. You know, it just pops out of nowhere into my head and I make a script. I don't know where the information is coming from. Like I said, it could be coming from my higher self, a higher power, a source, the universe, whatever. But it's something that I'm really motivated to do. And it's not easy, but this is the situation I've been put in. And I know that this is my calling. But I just wanted to let you know that your healers, your teachers, your therapists, your doctors, we're not perfect people. We don't do our jobs because we've figured it all out. We come here to help you in whatever way that we think we can help. And we're not perfect. We're just like you. Nobody's special. Nobody's smarter. We're all learning together. So I hope that this video in some way could give you something to think about in terms of being worthy or being special or being chosen. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know, when you put it all together, when you figure things out. Life is never going to be perfect, and sometimes life is painful. But this is what we're called to do. This is what we were called for, and we're answering that call. And I encourage you to answer your call. You don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be right. The right time. It's never the right time. You don't have to have it all figured out. Hell, I'm fighting low batteries over here, okay? And I'm still making these videos right now. But I hope in some way, shape, or form you take a moment today to help somebody else, because when you do, that is when the message will truly live on. Thank you for stopping by and watching my video. Until next time.